All right, YouTube, welcome back to day 2 of the 2K to 10K flip. The account is already up over 15%. I'm going to break down this next trade. This is our second trade in the account. This was a US dollar Swiss franc trade, but this is all ICC from Trades by SCI. Been, like I said, getting super dialed in with these concepts, and I'm just going to keep putting out these videos. We're 2 for 2 right now. I'm going to break down this trade completely, but just for an update, you guys can see the account is now at $2,325.99. It added a flat $171 on this trade today. This was a 17.2 pip trade. It's a US dollar Swiss franc, so it's not going to move as much as like AUD JPY did the previous day, but we got a little bit more margin to trade, a little bit heavier, and like I said, we're trying to flip this account up to 10K. So the account is at 2,325. You can see right here in my MetaTrader 5, all I do is I just set alerts and do my markups on TradingView, and then I place the trades just off my phone on MetaTrader 5. But I'm going to break down this trade. It's like a similar short as the AUD JPY trade the previous day, but I'm going to break it down. It was super clean. You guys can see yesterday, Thursday, made a nice clean close lower on the daily time frame. Guys, this is just the simplest, most straightforward way to trade ICC. Trades by SCI, the concepts he put out are golden. Now we have to figure out a way we can use them, and this is, in my opinion, the easiest way. I just basically go based on structure from daily candles, or you can use weekly candles, 4-hour candles. You don't really want to use much lower than 4-hour. You can use the 1 hour, but you're not going to get big moves, and especially in Forex, you need to cover spread. But long story short, this is the candle we were looking at. This was Thursday's close below Wednesday's candle up here, and then also breaking past Tuesday, but the cleaner entry, the more ideal entry was off of Tuesdays. You can see we broke lower. This is Tuesday's range, the high, the low. We dropped to our lower time frame, the 1 hour. What are we waiting for? We're simply waiting now that price had closed and broke below here, which is this point right here. All ICC says is the whole point of the concepts is this. I'm going to show you guys this without the candles here in a second. If this was a low, and we'll do something like this, that way it's a little clearer. We're going to do this, and then I'm going to take off the candles just to show you guys exactly what it looks like. The whole idea is, oh, I didn't mean to delete that. We'll take off this leg really quick. The whole idea is if price is going like this, and we formed a low right here, and price breaks past that low, which this is not just any low, this is a daily low, so it makes it even more accurate. Because it's based on daily ranges, daily candles, you're going to see what happened last time price went below here is it went all the way down to here. So now that price comes back up into here, the whole idea is if we get back below here again and we get confirmation for an entry, where should we expect price to go again when it gets below here, right? We should expect it to go here. And so that's the whole trades by SCI concept, is you're trying to basically match movements in price. It's basically price is going to tell you where it wants to go, and then you're going to try to get it going there again. And so that's what happened here. We get a nice pull back up inside of that range, and all we were waiting for was price to get back below here. I was super interested in this pair, set alerts, was waiting for it to happen. And these trades, if you get the right ones, they're going to hit a lot. Like, you're going to see this play out over and over again across all currency pairs. You're just 100% going to see it. And I'm going to, hopefully do a pretty good job at showing it to you on a daily basis. But now I dropped to the 15-minute. Like I said, the 15 minutes my favorite time frame to use with the daily candles. But we got below this low. Price had come all the way down. And then now we had started to pull back. And now after we pull back, we're looking for a few things. I'll just kind of reiterate it since every day is technically a new trade. But I want to show the things that I'm looking for in each individual trade, even though sometimes they're going to be the same. So the first thing I'm looking for is I'm looking personally, ideally for a candle to close back above. I don't really want price to reject it. I want price to close back above and to accept price back inside of that range. That means once we're back inside of that range, now if we peek back out and back under that range, we should have even stronger confluence for price to flood to the downside. And it does, but it's the same thing as yesterday. You have to remember that it just happens to play out on the first break back down that it was the actual entry. But I'm going to show you right here. when we broke above here the first time, this is the range we were in, the 15-minute range. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more, that way you guys can see, because I think it's super important. I'll even bar replay it some. So here's the idea. Right here, when we're rejecting this candle range, which candle range are we in? Because the same thing we see on the daily, we want to see on all time frames, right? It's all fractal. So in terms of the 15-minute, we had peaked out a little bit right here. So this is how I usually do it. I look for like the most obvious one. If it's not the most obvious, then I look to see which candle range we're in. So like, let me do it with boxes. That way you guys are going to get a bigger picture, right? So this is the candle range that looked most obvious for me. However, we happen to peak outside of it right here. So if we peaked outside of it right here, this was the new candle range, and then it got peaked out of by this red candle. So that red candle is the new candle range. Then we closed outside of it with this blue candle. So right now we're technically in this blue candle and it's going upwards. Why? Because it broke higher. So we're in a bullish trend on the 15-minute according to candle ranges. And now we're simply waiting for price to close back above, then close back below and give us a new range. So you see, once we close outside of this range, we're in a new range. So we are in this blue one. I hope this makes sense. I'm going to make so many of these videos as we go and flip this account up. You guys are going to start to get used to it. And hopefully I'll do a better job some days than not on explaining it. But you can see we're inside of this range. Now we're no longer inside of this range. And we're back below this low way over here. So that's the two things I want. I want the candle ranges to flip bearish on the 15-minute. And I want price to be below that level again for us to take that daily level again for us to take price lower. That's all I did. I got in short right here, put stops above here, give or take a few pips just for the sake of spread, and I put it all the way down here. My take profit all the way down here today, because you can see this is just the most obvious draw on liquidity. Yesterday, in our trade yesterday, there was like a very good area around 50% that it could have reacted off of, but I didn't feel the same way about this, because you have to see that's just all low resistance liquidity being built up, right? But yesterday we had 100%, 50% a high resistance liquidity pool, and I think it did end up going all the way, but it's neither here nor there for this trade. But the trade ends up playing out relatively fast. You can see this is being on the side of momentum, being on the side of trend, and it's market structure. That's all it is. It's market structure, and price is telling you where it wants to go. After we broke below this low, we went here. So once we break back below that low again, we get right there, and that's exactly what it did. And so I hope you guys got some value out of this. The account, like I said, it's at $2,325. We're up over 15%, almost 16% in just 2 trades. So we're going to try to flip this up in like a month or two, like I said. But if you guys are liking this and you guys want to see more of these breakdowns and you're getting some value out of this, subscribe to the channel, like, comment. That's the biggest way you can support the channel. And I'm just going to keep documenting the journey. And I will see you guys next week, because it's Friday. So I'll see you guys on Monday for hopefully trade 3 if we can see a setup. So I will see you guys there.